A Yuma, Arizona street becomes a wild scene of road rage when a belligerent driver punches a young motorcyclist.
You touch him!
What I had done that originally that I believe made him mad was that I lane filtered or lane split in between his car and the city bus.
It turns out, just minutes earlier, Cody Munoz is out riding with his girlfriend, Luisa, when he decides to pass a city bus by riding his bike between the two lanes of traffic. Called lane splitting, it's illegal in Arizona.
I did that for the reason of not being behind the city bus. It's just not a good idea to be in a blind spot of a large vehicle. I wasn't trying to jump the line and get ahead of everybody. And just from doing that, ticked him off.
To pass the bus, Cody pulls in between it and another driver, who turns out to be 51-year-old Lee Shizmenos. And what Cody has just done apparently makes him so furious that he begins tailgating the couple.
He got behind me and started honking his horn, cussing and spitting at me.
I started noticing someone kind of yelling at us. He's like, yeah, he's like kind of tailgating me. He's like putting his fists up. He was just outraged.
But I thought, he's gonna get over it. The light's gonna turn green. We're gonna be on our way. No big deal.
But to this angry driver, it is a big deal. And that's when things get out of control.
I thought, okay, can't believe he's getting out of his car at a red light.
I look again to my left and he's out of the car. There is no time for us to react. He just decided to punch Cody on the helmet.
Stop it!
There was definitely a craziness in his eyes. His eyes were bulging out of his head.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna...
This guy is so angry, it's a blind rage. He's just gonna do the first thing that comes to his mind, and he doesn't care about the consequences.
You better step back right now!
In that short amount of time between me trying to get off the bike to talk to him, my girlfriend had already gotten off the bike, and I see him shoving her away. I didn't think that he would go that far.
After taking a couple of swings, the older man got taken down.
You better stop! Stop! Are you done?
But despite being pinned to the ground, the hot-headed driver isn't cooling off.
Are you gonna behave?
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna...
Call the cops right now. How old are you? Shouldn't you know by now it's not what you do?
When a witness pulls up to the scene, the driver denies everything.
This dude just assaulted me for no reason. You saw it?
No, I saw it all. You didn't see it.
And incredibly, even claims that he's the victim.
You pushed my girlfriend? She weighs 100 pounds.
She assaulted me.
No, she did not.
But that's when he gets a shock of his own.
Guess what? I have you all on camera, so we're gonna see.
I told him, well, I have it all on camera. As soon as I said that, the switch flipped. Because I don't think he realized up until that point that there was actually a camera running.
Even in the midst of this crazy, violent scene, Cody somehow manages to calmly speak to the driver.
Dude, I did nothing to you.
Yeah, you just broke the law.
He said, you broke the law to me, which is hilarious that he would say that to me. You got mad at me. You're gonna assault me because I went in between you at a light.
Hey! You better step back right now. You're gonna punch me and assault me for that.
Yep.
And you think that's the right thing to do?
But once the driver realizes he's being taped and other motorists begin to gather round,
Calm down.
then he finally stops talking.
This dude assaulted me for no reason at a stoplight.
The man is aided by witnesses and soon arrested by police. And Cody is instantly hailed as a hero for his calm response.
Two wrongs don't make a right. I wasn't gonna start assaulting him on the ground.
I'm really impressed at how calm the motorcyclist is, considering the fact that he was just assaulted by this angry motorist.
Are you gonna behave?
Soon, the video racks up over 16 million views.
few notable motovloggers that had commented on my video and saying, good job keeping your cool and applauding me.
While Cody maintains his composure, there's a big reason why the driver lost his.
I got a problem.
So the irony of this incident is that the motorist who's chastising this motorcyclist for committing a traffic violation, turns out he shouldn't even be behind the wheel himself.
Stop!
The driver admits to police that he had 4 to 5 shots of whiskey before driving and is charged with assault and DUI.
The alcohol probably made him more aggressive, more violent, and also probably contributed to him not caring about repercussions. Road rage plus driving under the influence, not a good combo.
With emotions running so high, police say Cody is extremely lucky things didn't take a more dangerous turn.
I think Cody handled it really, really well. I'm just really grateful that nothing too serious happened.
When a man posing as a customer walks into Concepcion Escalante's office, she has no idea she is about to get in the fight of her life.
So he walked in, and at first he seemed really nice.
But when he returns a second time, it's clear he's not there to buy insurance.
He said, give me the money that they just gave you.
It turns out the man has been watching her for a while, casing the business from the window, paying close attention as she handles several large cash transactions.
We had been walking in front of the office for about a couple hours, but I didn't notice. I wasn't really looking.
He sees as she receives $1,500 from one customer and helps count out thousands more for another.
They were purchasing a car, and I counted $4,000 in front of them, and then I gave it back. So then they left. But I think he thought I kept that money.
At first, she's stunned when the man demands the money. But she quickly decides to fight back.
I don't think he counted on me being so mad. I spend more than 8 hours there to make hard money for him to just come and take it away. I was scared, but I think I was still more mad.
One of the scariest parts is that she's alone. And as the man violently drags her around the room by the hair, she can't even get to a phone to dial 911 for help.
I think a lot of us would have just given up because we would have been in such sheer terror. But in her case, she fought even harder.
But she gets her break when the robber becomes distracted by that cash he is trying so hard to steal.
The cash is trying to go all over the place. As he's trying to fend her off, he's trying to scramble to get whatever cash falls on the floor.
With her attacker reaching for the cash, Concepcion makes her move, grabbing him tightly by the neck and pushing him closer to the door. That's where the robber gives her one final shove, and then, finally, gives up and races out the door with about $1,000.
This guy, he thinks he's going to make a quick buck, but she flipped the switch, and she became the hero in this situation, and he went running with his tail between his legs. Concepcion
is shaken up, but luckily not hurt.
After he ran off, I called my sister, and I just kind of sat on one of the desks, and I just sat there crying.
A worker at a nearby store calls police, who arrive and review the surveillance footage. They identify the suspect as 47-year-old Cesar Sarmiento Cruz, the same man they believe has been robbing local businesses for weeks.
Detectives told her they think he is the same guy who also robbed a liquor store in another business on Saturday before coming here.
When Concepcion's family watches the surveillance footage of her frightening ordeal, they are stunned.
It was really hard, watching it. You feel defenseless, not being able to help her. Maybe I should have been there with her, not let her work alone.
And to her family's astonishment, the very next day, Concepcion insists on coming right back to work. Though with her attacker still on the loose, she's on edge.
I was scared probably the first few weeks, even to go anywhere. So I was like, okay, what if he comes back?
She was scared that he was gonna come back, and she was like, finish off the job is what she kept on telling us. So she couldn't even stay home alone.
Then, about 2 weeks later, police arrest her attacker. while Concepcion is widely applauded for her courage.
She says the reason she fought back is because she doesn't want to be a victim.
Law enforcement doesn't advise risking your life over cash.
If someone is armed and they're asking for your cash, let them have what they want, and then call 911, let the police do their job.
A man started yelling violent threats.
This story goes viral because of the brave young woman at the heart of it.
This is a video that is widely shared on social media and really gained a lot of attention.
You will be found, you will be arrested, and you will face criminal prosecution.
It's about 5 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon at a bustling burger joint. 19-year-old assistant manager Bianca Palomira is busy behind the counter. She has no idea that her whole life is about to change.
We start changing shifts. We weren't too short-staffed, but it was picking up. It was busy.
Outside, an SUV pulls up and 4 people get out.
I first saw them from a distance because they were in the front and I was in the back to the drive-thru area.
What Bianca doesn't know is that they are here to cause trouble.
This particular customer was allegedly bullying a special needs person inside of that establishment.
People who bully others who are perceived as being weaker tend to have a power complex, even if it means that someone else is getting hurt or ridiculed.
Out of camera view in the dining area, one of the men bullies an autistic teen. He's a friend of Bianca's, and she's furious, so she storms over to confront the man.
I just hear someone talking very loudly, very disrespectful, saying slurs to him, telling him he's gonna beat him up if he keeps looking at him. When I decided to say, you know, he's special needs.
But instead of listening to her, the man gets right in Bianca's face, yelling racial slurs. And then he hits her not once, but twice. Bianca's co-workers rush in to protect her, and numerous customers dial 911. The man's last punch hits Bianca right in the eye.
And she is viciously and very unfortunately attacked.
Her angry attacker pushes someone's order off a counter before fleeing. Bianca is rushed to a hospital where she gets sobering news.
They kept asking me if he was wearing any rings because they didn't think that a normal punch could rupture an eye.
A massive manhunt is launched to find the suspect.
The local police department in California teamed up very quickly with the United States Marshal Service, and they worked together in tandem to be able to track down leads and tips on this case.
It was definitely something that I was worried about, not only for me, but for my family. And my sister was out on the news with me, so not only was I in danger, but also her.
For 3 weeks, she's on edge until he's finally arrested.
Bianca's story dominates the news and quickly goes viral.
The man got right into Palomira's face and yelled slurs at her.
The man then came after her. The second punch he threw hit her in the eye.
We're very proud of her. She did the right thing. Her heart was there when she did it.
With the help of online tipsters, the suspect, Isaac White Carter, is identified by U.S. Marshals and arrested outside his California home. But for Bianca, the arrest offers little solace.
The doctor came in to finally check on me. He opened my eye and I couldn't see anything at all. It was just black. I pretty much knew that I couldn't see.
Unfortunately, she did lose her eye in this incident.
Doctors replaced Bianca's right eye with a prosthetic.
She is in the process of healing right now.
From a psychiatrist's point of view, to lose such a vital organ can be highly traumatizing.
White Carter is charged with 2 felony counts, mayhem and assault causing great bodily injury. Bianca's community rallies to her side, raising nearly $250,000 for her medical care. And the mayor gives her a key to the city. when an armed man holding a shotgun wrapped in a blanket marches into an equipment store in New Mexico, a terrifying scenario unfolds.
I just decided I was going to go take the gun away from him if I could. As soon as my hands were on the gun, I was not going to let go, and he was not going to shoot anybody.
In the midst of the chaos, David Mann's trainee flees. It appears he's too scared to stick around. But then, all of a sudden, he returns.
He had gone out to go to his truck. He had had a baseball bat in the truck by the seat. Apparently the truck was locked, so he comes running back in because he remembered that he had a handgun in his lunchbox, which was in the shop.
And that's when the tense situation takes a dramatic turn.
So when he comes back, that's it. This is the pivotal moment when everything changes. He body checks him, knocks the gun out of his hands, and runs.
I just saw a blur. I did not realize that it was Devin that had hit this feller. I just know that both of us get pushed back. Then he tries to back up himself, and I jerk the gun out of his hands.
Now, the tables have turned, and the gunman makes a hasty retreat.
He was scared. He was running. He wanted to get away. When he got 50 feet away or so, he started looking over his shoulder at me.
For a moment, David considers chasing after him.
You know, I'm old and cranky. I don't want to run after the guy.
David and his trainee are shaken, but safe. But who is this shotgun-wielding man? Why did he target this store? And where has he gone?
David is standing there with this guy's shotgun. And now this unarmed gunman is running down the street. We don't know where he's going.
David's trainee is already on the phone with 911, and the police arrive just minutes later.
It was an unmarked canine unit that showed up. He just happened to be right around the corner.
When the canine unit shows up, missing pieces of this puzzle begin to fall into place. It all begins when 3 people in a red sedan lose control of the car at a nearby intersection and get into a wild crash. But then they decide not to stick around to explain anything to the police. They just jump out of the car and make a run for it.
So there's this big crash. The 3 of them run. There's 2 guys and a female, and the police are chasing after them.
All 3 suspects bolt in different directions, and that's when one of them, the one who has a shotgun, sees David's garage.
So our guy, blanket shotgun guy, he sees the garage and he thinks, well, hey, there's a place I can go and get my getaway vehicle.
He happened to come towards our shop, and I think he was just looking for some way to get away because he knew he was in trouble.
As police hunt for the 3 suspects, including the man who David confronted in the garage, they ask the media for help.
Police are still looking for that suspect. They do have their car, though, and say they should be able to pull any fingerprints from it.
And with wide coverage of the story,
that crook walked into an Albuquerque business with the shotgun in his hand.
David is quickly hailed as a hero for bravely standing up to the gunman, the kind of hero you definitely don't want to mess with.
We have a standing joke about the incident. Don't mess with Dave. Don't ask him for his keys to his truck.
So David is naturally hailed as a hero, because when do you see a guy with nerves of steel like that to think, I'm just gonna play dumb and get that gun? And then to actually take this loaded gun out of this guy's hands, he reminds me of Clint Eastwood. To be able to think like that under those conditions, he reminds me of someone who just has the cool strategy of a true fighter.